Hello, 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 viewers around the world. Good day. It's evening here in Milan, Italy, 8 o'clock, um, West Europe time. You are welcome to Between the Lines. Between the Lines is our Monday program where we give updates on news, occurrences, and I normally do this with my colleagues and friends. Joining me all the way from London, UK is Fiona. Fiona, how are you?
Good evening, Mr. Mack. Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you. It's good to see your face again. This new month of February 2024. Nice.
Thank
So
you. Pleasure to be here.
how you taking in the new month? Um, a lot of
Um,
mhm.
yeah, it's the same. It's the same as any other month. After the excesses of the festive period,
Mhm.
time to get busy and planning and doing things. So yeah.
Time to get busy and planning. Yes, Fiona. Thank you. Thank you for coming by. Between the Lines is our program for our global audience, and Fiona, a lot of things are happening. Um, let's start with not too good news, but let's run with it. 6 days ago, a couple of kids were going to school in the morning and were kidnapped right there in southwest Nigeria, a state called Ekiti State, southwest Nigeria. And these kids were held on, and but luckily, yesterday they were released. But what we found out is the release was not just, it wasn't a free one. About 15 to 25 million naira was paid as a ransom fee. So the students of Apostolic Faith Group School in Imore, Equity, were kidnapped on Monday, but now they've been released. But sadly, the driver that was driving them to school was killed. So Fiona, this is where we find ourselves. We are now caught up with kidnappers, bandits, terrorists, criminals, and they are targeting our children, our parents, our loved ones. How do you feel hearing this, Fiona? What's your take on this?
Um, I think first of all, my condolences go to the family of the driver.
Hmm.
Um, it is always a sad time to hear of um, kidnappings and such like in Nigeria. It's never something that makes one feels one's heart with joy. Um, that it's becoming a more frequent occurrence now is not something that makes it any better anytime it happens. Um, it's unfortunate that kidnappings have become the order of the day in Nigeria and have become a new way of people uh, making money, raising an income, or whatever the right words I want to use to describe that. So that's actually quite tragic. Um, the security system, obviously, there are so many major overhauls that it requires. Um, you know, After this happened, there were a lot of different reports coming out about local groups that were actually searching for the kidnappers. Um, I wasn't aware that there had actually been this amount of ransom paid for the lives of these innocent young people and their teacher. And when I heard what happened to the driver, it made me start to wonder what possibly, why the driver was subjected to this sort of treatment, and made me start to wonder what the behind the scenes may have been, whether there was any complicity in it, because I mean, I don't know what would have happened for him to meet his ending in such a macabre way. So I think that's the thing that made me start to think. Nevertheless, we wish that his soul rest in peace, and for the young children who have been faced with this trauma and their teacher, um, we are not a good people when it comes to dealing with trauma. And I hope that the necessary facilities will be put in place for the people affected to have a walk through their trauma, so that they are able to heal from what would have been a very, very difficult event.
So that they are able to heal from what would have become a very difficult event. Thank you, Fiona. Fiona, those were images of that very sad uh, picture incident there. These are the kids when they were released, and we even saw some of the teachers. These are some of the teachers with them, and in fact, there was a woman with a little baby in their midst. We don't know if she's also a teacher that was probably going to school with her little baby, and she was caught up in that thing. Um, Fiona, it's so sad. It's truly sad. This is where our country has come to. Um, we are now left with. It's now up to everybody to just be security conscious and be on the lookout, because it can happen to anybody. Before we continue the discussion, let's bring in uh, our man, coordinator from Russia, Godwin eBay. How are you, Dr. Godwin? It's good to see you.
I'm good. Thank you for having me. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. Hello,
Thank you
Fiona, as well.
Hello, Dr.
for
Godwin.
coming. Godwin, the mood seems a little bit solemn here because we are um, going through this very, very gruesome incident in Ekiti, southwest Nigeria, where
Mhm.
little kids going to school, thinking they are trying to make a life for themselves, and we're caught up with this situation. Fiona, let me also put it that the money ransom thing is our investigative journalism. It's actually not in the news, but we can say because we saw that we got it. Now, the part I will bring in Godwin now to this is um, if we're paying ransom, I mean paying money for ransom, that means federal government, because the federal government actually did that. That means federal government and Nigerians are now giving kidnapping value. Kidnapping has become a means of livelihood. I mean, why can't we really go after them? Godwin, you're a security expert too. What's your take? We're paying money for ransom. We give them the money. They'll come to the bank, take the money, go back, hold our people. I mean, this is crazy. I don't know. Godwin, tell us something.
You know, negotiating with terrorists is not advisable, or usually, all things being equal. But in cases where you lack intelligence, you the
Find
chances of
us.
survival through the alternative method of brute force, intelligence, storming is low. Then you might as well just negotiate and try your luck and see if the hostages will be released. But usually, where a country is functioning properly and the security agencies are working, intelligence is working, even while making the donations, while contacting the kidnappers, you're trying to gather as much information as possible to minimize losses and to maximize the chances of finding where these people are kept. Um, it's left to be seen if we have this capacity and capability. In such a case, then the option would be to gamble, because paying the ransom does not guarantee the release of the kidnapped people. Neither does it guarantee that you'll get what you're paying for. So that's why it's like this. Basically, because there's a failure of intelligence and
Mhm.
security apparatus to try to pinpoint, get as much information as possible. And the root cause of this, I mean, if it's not this kidnapping, it will be another one. Solving one kidnapping problem does not eliminate another one.
Mhm.
It's just a vicious cycle and a waste of energy until the problem is solved. And what's the main problem? Poverty, unemployment, and what do I say? Loose borders, allowing infiltration by the radical terrorists or radical elements who profess different religion. I know, unfortunately, they seem to be Islam now, but I'm not saying that they could only be Islam. It could be any religion who are radical. Loose borders and failure to allowing these terrorists to establish their caliphate or to breed and have logistic supply routes through forests. Not having enough drones and radio equipment to gather as much information or to conduct proper reconnaissance and surveillance. Not even taking precautions to minimize losses during storming operations. These are the root causes, and if you don't tackle them, if it's not one kidnapping, it will be just another.
Thank you very much. Solemn atmosphere here, viewers. Solemn. We feel for this. You see the pictures. These are young little kids with their teachers caught up in this. Look how rough they look. They've probably not had their bath, not eating, nothing. And this is our country. These are our people. This our people. And they have to go through all of this. Sad, truly sad. Anyway, reacting to the development, the Ekiti State Governor, Biodun Oyebanjo, thanked the president and the security team, he said, that came to help them. So we know, obviously, money was paid and all that happened. Traumatic experience for these little kids, real trauma. And a lot of them will probably not even want to go to school again, bear in mind what could happen on their way to school. And this is also a time when we're trying to tell the youths that are saying education is a scam. We're trying to encourage them into getting educated. Now they find themselves in this. So, gentlemen, it's sad. Fiona, do you have any words again? I know you feel very sad about this. Do you have anything to add?
I think Dr. Gordon has said it all. I think because as a state we don't have a social system in place. As I said previously, my big concern going forward, and for anybody who really is involved in any trauma of this sort, is that there is no system and there's no way in which this trauma or this traumatic event can be managed so that people can live their optimal life post-trauma. So I think that's something that really concerns me. I wonder what kind of, for the teacher, what kind of financial support, what kind of emotional support, psychological support, and for all the little children who have been through this event. So I think that's where my heart really is playing on now. I mean, that we have a problem in Nigeria when it comes to this issue is not news. That we don't really we're not really equipped to tackle it is not news. That the system provides a shelter and a cover for this situation to continue to go around in a circle is not news. I think we brought it up before that there must be a place where this money is going and how it's being taken out and moved around in the economy. So with proper intelligence, I'm sure that the root of a lot of these kidnappings can be reached. But that's our Nigeria for you. So
thank you very much, viewers. This is it, Nigeria for you, but there's still hope. Fiona, thank you. I know you are being a mother. This hurts you, but this is life. This is how it is. Gentlemen, let's go further. Let's go to Namibia. Namibia lost its president, Hage Geingob. Hage Geingob was the past Namibian president. Not past, he was seated, but he died while in office. And as of this morning, there was a swearing in of the new president, Mbumba. And Hage Geingob died 82 years on Sunday. Information was he was receiving treatment at a hospital in South Africa. And he has been previously diagnosed with cancer and so many stories, you know. So we find ourselves in a situation where I'm taking this to is Fiona, old leader, our old men, old papas, you know, that could be seated in some old people's home, taking care of their grandchildren, but they still find themselves in the line of leadership. Is it that there are no young people that could sit into this office? Must it be this set of people? We know there is wisdom with the wise, with the age, but don't you think, the new man again, Mbumba, is also an old man? And I was looking at both of them and I was wondering, what's the difference? This one could pass away before election next season. Well, what's your take on this?
So yes, I think we've had the discussion as well about the age range of politicians. That's not to say that somebody that's elderly can't run a country or doesn't have the wisdom to do. I think when it comes to a lot of things like this, it's all about the structure that's already in place. They've got an election coming up later in the year, and the person that's tipped, who is the current vice president, who is tipped to be the new president, who is a woman, she's 71. So, so, you know, I just looked at it and I thought, so I think if we think about ourselves, so if we go away from politics and think of ourselves as grown-up individuals and the way our parents treat us, you can almost see a similarity with what happens in the political sphere, where people that are old and perhaps not as dynamic still want to keep doing things their way, either because they feel that they know best, as our parents have often done, or because, well, they feel that they've got the structure in place and they, and they feel it's their right to be there. So I think that if you look, you can see the congruence between the way older parents treat us and the way older politicians treat younger politicians. It's always as though, So it's unfortunate because I think that the next generation have a lot of ideas and things to bring to the table. And because of this situation with the word called structure, it makes it very difficult for them to penetrate into actual leadership. So I'm not talking about being given, or special senior special assistant, that kind of thing. I'm talking about real leaders. Yeah. So I think
anyway, thank you very much. That's a good view. Your NGO also caters to young people, putting them in a leadership role, that leadership mentality. Godwin, I know you're there getting some materials ready for us to get your updates. You have some updates to give us on the election, the by-election in Nigeria. I saw what you were posting online, and I know you have some updates also from your corner. But before we go on that, we want to also send our condolence to the Namibian people and wish them a successful. There's going to be an election, like you said, Fiona. And but for the now, Mangolo Mbumba, who is sitting in as the president, and we hope he doesn't pass on too while there. He stays well, so leadership can be arranged. Every country needs their leaders to have it together. So Godwin, we come to you. Are you ready? Are you ready to give us your updates? You have lots of them there. Can you?
Well, I don't have media update on by-elections in Nigeria.
Yeah.
What I was planning to show was the situation in the US in terms of the conflict between the Republican governor and the federal government. So if we get to that topic, then I may be able to show you something like that.
Okay. Okay, we will come to that. You will give us that too, even though our time is limited. But let's talk about Senegal. Listen, gentlemen, Africa needs to get it right. And when it's biting in one part of Africa, somehow it replicates around other parts too. Senegal is still fighting. Senegal is still in the dark. Senegal is still protesting. In fact, I joined the protest of the Senegalese here in Milan, Italy last time. The parliament are arguing today. There was hot fights in the house, and what's the main bone of contention? It is that the President Muki Sall, says he's probably going to stay for a while again. You know, he's postponing the presidential election. He keeps postponing, and they are tired of all this. So there's protests right now in Senegal, protests everywhere. The people are angry. People are scattering things. They're also protesting in France, Paris, because we have a large number of Senegalese in that place. Gentlemen, who's following this? Godwin, what do you have on Senegal? Take note also that the choice man, there's a young man called Usmani.
Soko.
That's the choice of the people. But somehow they barred him from contesting. They made an allegation on him, and they played it so well. You know, the story is that they say he had an affair with a lady. They brought the lady to now come and say he raped her. You know, so and that's a case on its own. So they jailed him to silence him, and all of this is not playing well with the youths. Godwin, what do you have there?
Well, it's classic, nothing strange.
Classic.
The interests of the elites sometimes are not the interests of the common people, and so we see it everywhere, whether it's in Africa, in the US, in Nigeria, and so on. Sir, give me a minute.
Okay. While Godwin comes, so Fiona, this is what's happening in Senegal, France,
Yeah.
Senegal.
Yeah.
And opposition leaders are all fighting. Everybody's like, so, but the main thing is the president keep pushing
back in the elections.
Yes, the presidential election, you know,
So,
because really be there.
The election was supposed to hold on the 25th of February.
That's correct.
And they were supposed to start campaigning in earnest this week. And from nowhere, they just came. I mean, I know that we've had postponement of elections in Nigeria before, but not anything to this scale. He's now, I think he's touted August or so, somewhere later in the year. But there's also another school of thought that is also saying that he's saying February 2025.
That's correct. Some people say he's saying yes.
So, I mean, I can understand why people are not happy. You know, even at a very small level, even in a very low level situation where you have an exco of 10, 15 people and the push for remaining in office comes, the kind of fallout is incredible. I've been through a very personal experience of something like that in the very recent past, and the fallout has been incredible. So I can understand, you know, and I know, and the thing is, the problem is that when people have power, they really struggle to let go of the power. He knows he knew that if Osman Soko was still in the running, that he would take him out. He knew that for a fact.
He's the people's favorite. Yes.
So they've deployed all the, and now he's got a second in command who is now the favorite. So goodness only knows what will happen to him. So they've deployed all their resources, tear gas, everything to silence the voices of the masses as per normal. That's the way it goes. The elite, their agenda is never quite the agenda of the masses. And when they can't have their way by quiet, trying to put people in prison, etc., then they resort to all these bully boy tactics. It's just really unfortunate. If the people are crying for election, I don't know why somebody would be so scared to let go of power. But the thing about having that power, it seems to corrupt in a way that I think. And I can't even say that it is a bad thing, because maybe if I was in that position, I don't know. Because to me, I just think, why would anybody want to be leading people that don't want to be led by them? But it seems that when people get in power, that doesn't matter. for some reason.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah.
Somehow, maybe we need to have a taste of this thing, called power, to understand why people hold on to it like that.
No, well, guys, this thing. Let me tell you, many of these, like, let's talk about most presidents in the world today. Yeah, if you look at their approval rating, it's below 40%, but they're still in power. Yes, most. They're still in power. There are very few in around the world who have above 50% incumbent approval rating of the people. The thing is that it is not the protest that is what is crucial. Is the fact that the position of the military, because when the military backs the current administration, there's very little the people can do unless they have the backing of a major geopolitical power, because they cannot stage an insurgency against a state actor unless they have logistics, which is supplied by somebody. So when many of the civil wars are all divide and conquer by geopolitical powers. If geopolitical powers are not interested in any insurgency, the insurgency will be squashed beyond measure. So the reason why they seem to be having a little bit of voice is because some geopolitical might have taken interest in their side or in their position, and probably want an election. We've heard the African Union also say they want a new election date to be announced. And usually, I kind of suspect that the African Union position seems to align with the Western position. I mean, especially not African, let me say ECOWAS, for example, seems to align with more with the Western position on these matters. Basically, the president may get away with what he wants if he has the full backing of the military, and if the major geopolitical powers like the West, Russia, China back him up, then he can definitely get away with. There's nothing basically that the civilians can do, because I mean, yeah, it's just like words. For someone who is tyrannical like that, words do very little. It's only strategic balance of power and leverage. These are the only things that can make them consider the alternative. So this happens around the world. And in terms of old people you mentioned, I mean, look at it. Even the oldest democracy in the world, the US, how old is their president? Nigeria, we have the same. It's just the tendency of man, the tendency of people to be power hungry and not want to relinquish power, retire even when they get old. It's not an African problem.
Thank you very much, Godwin. Yes, that's it. That's it, gentlemen. Between the lines is actually a small short program, 45 minutes. I don't know how we'll run through what we have, but we need to put it out the ones we can. One major event that just wrapped up was the 66th Annual Grammy Awards, and the Grammy Award was we were all looking forward towards. I mean, Nigerians' eyes were like glued on to see what was happening. This year's award had some new faces as nominees. We had Davido, Asake, Burna Boy, that young lady also. But from nowhere, for the African, that category of award, that category is called Best African. I think it's Best African Music Performance or something. So from nowhere, a South African young lady took it, and Twitter went berserk. People were tweeting, people were writing, but that's what it is. What a lot of people don't know is there are criteria, there are indices, the Grammys check for awards. It's not just about who's popular.
Please, if you know them, enlighten us, because I did not see any of them. I don't know what they
very
is.
good. Okay, number one is creativity. Creativity, your style of content, your style of music. If you study very well, the Africans that have won the Grammy, don't have popular music. It's not about being popular. It's about your delivery, the way that music is presented, something unique. Okay, look at this. Sade Adu, the British Nigerian singer, got so many Grammy Awards because she had a different genre, different kind of music. It wasn't your normal R&B. It wasn't your normal pop music. It was something else. Now we had the young lady last time, one of our Nigerian girls, Thames, got one too. And now if you listen to Thames, you see Thames, people don't even know her. You know, she's not popular. Many people don't know her. Some people are surprised. Who's this girl? You know, but her music is quite unique. It's peculiar. It's not your normal pop or R&B and all that. Then Bono Boy has won it too. And if you also listen to Bono Boy's music, it's something different. He turned around the Afrobeat of Fela's Afrobeat and made it into something else. So this lady that just won it, the Tyler, the South African girl, I just went through some of her playlists and I found out that she's also in that category of singing something very, very unique, different from your normal.
But I have an issue. I have an issue with this criteria. Look, the award isn't unique music. The award isn't best unique music. The award isn't strangest music. The award was best global music. So in the major criteria for anything global should be popularity and acceptance by the fans. Now, if a group of judges, 3-4 judges or whatever they use criteria they use to vote, they want to decide for the whole world, it cannot cut it, because you cannot sit and say this person is creative, but you have not gauged how the world perceives the creativity of that person. The judge should be the people, the amount of people in the globe who are receptive to the creative product.
Unlike,
and there's no way in God's earth, God's created earth, that this lady has any global music that compares to that compares to Burna Boy or Davido. So and then there's no open vote. Who made the vote? How did you collect from major artists?
Now let me say this, Godwin. This shows how very smart, intelligent you are and how you look at things very critical. What you're saying is real true, but a lot of people have come against Grammy's style of nomination and winning award. But you see, they've been on this style, even though they put it out best global and all that, and they come and they pick their own choice. They give us, but one thing they've done, listen to this, is they put an attention on a particular kind of music after they've given that person the award. Do you understand? Sade Adu became, for example, popular after the recognition from the Grammys. You see?
Sorry, sorry, I don't mean to overtalk you, but I am standing firmly with Dr. Gordon on this one. I don't know what you're saying, and let's stop talking about Sade Adu. Let's talk about current affairs here.
Yes.
Absolutely, categorically, 100%. I'm with Dr. Gordon on this. 100%. By which criteria? What criteria? What you're saying? So, it's strange, unique. What do I care about that? What I want is I want to go into the high streets. I want to go to the stores, and I want to hear that person's music. I don't want to hear some person from somewhere that I don't know. I don't want to.
Nobody knows. The scale is not comparable.
When they gave your terms last year, Temi Damilola, the Nigerian girl, you guys did say all of this.
No. Listen. If anybody, that's the thing about breaking rules. When you don't have a particular criteria, for example, it was in our favor, so we are not the one who should go out and be investigating why they give them, because it's our benefit. The people who lost should go out and argue their case.
That's right.
But in this particular, it's not our problem why they didn't go and argue their case. But in this particular case, the magnitude of difference of Davido. Look at this lady. She has views 10,000, 15,000.
It's
scale of
crazy.
millions, Davido. There's no it's like an eagle. You're comparing an eagle to a very little chick that has not even developed its wings. I don't understand how the magnitude is so different. These guys, all this political correctness, wokeness is destroying them. If Davido announced that he was probably gay now and just before the nomination, I'm sure he would have won it. What the hell? He didn't tick all those strange wokeness points.
Funny things.
If he came out and said he was his sexual orientation was catfish, he would have won it. He would have won it.
Dr. Godwin,
That's what I'm. Let's face the fact. Let's talk about this. It's political correctness, wokeness. That is what is killing. That's what is killing objectivity everywhere.
That's right.
Everywhere.
100%.
Anyway, the young lady you're seeing there is called Tyler, and she's South African. She won that category that used to come to most Nigerians, Afrobeat, and even Burna Boy is even. But Burna Boy has won it. Burna Boy has won it. Davido, and we even have our Ayer Star, the other lady, Star, the Rush girl. But she won it. She's so excited about it. But the Grammys, yes, needs to check its way, its criteria and conditions they use in picking their winners. I watched the award, and Jay-Z, the popular Jay-Z, the rapper, he came out to say what you guys are saying here. But he was saying it to the benefit of his wife, that she has not received the best artist award, but she has received other ones, dance,
you think about it,
and other ones. So
let me just add one small thing. You see this Tyler that won in that. Go and ask Tyler, do you deserve it more than
even she? That's why she's excited. She didn't even believe she.
Even she will tell you she doesn't deserve it.
But she said it. She said she can't believe it.
She knows. Everybody knows except Grammy. Everybody knows except the organizers. How is that possible?
It's crazy.
Davido knows it's to win it. Burna Boy knows they're to win it.
Davido
knows that she's not to win it. The whole people know that. Then it's only the organizers of the award that somehow have a different opinion.
Somehow they don't know.
But somehow the Grammy has become the most prestigious award for musicians, and but maybe we all have to put a voice or put a petition and say, Grammy, check how you make your selection. Right there, also in the Grammy, were some very interesting things. There's an American rapper that got 3 awards, and right after the award, he was arrested. Can you imagine? Killer Mike is his name. Michael Renda. He's now in prison. He was cuffed after the awards because they said there was a fight he was involved in. I don't know, some wrongdoings somewhere, and they remembered him. This thing happened many years ago, and it was last night they remembered that he had a case to answer.
Unbelievable.
Right there at the awards, took him out with cuffs and took him to prison. So these are what we see. Let's come to sport, gentlemen. Before we go, time running out. Our Nigerian sprinter, Tobi Amusan, you all know her, set a new world record for African women in the African Women Indoor Games. She clocked 7.75 seconds right there in the United States, Boston. Did you follow this? Any of you got this? It's quite an impressive one. The girl is breaking real strong codes and doing some very, very amazing feats. That's Tobi Amusan, our Nigerian sprinter. She won with 7.75. Her previous record in that same game was in that same category of game was 7.77. So this time 2 seconds lesser, and that makes her a champion. So
that makes her a legend. She beat her own record. She's a legend.
Yes. Congratulations, Tobi. Thank you for making us proud. Yeah, Fiona.
Congratulations. I mean, these are the things that make me proud to be a Nigerian. That in spite and despite the way things are run and organized in our country, that we can produce some of the best talent in the world, medically, in terms of music, in terms of sports. I mean, these are the things that, these are the things that give us that kind of confidence that nobody else from the African continent has, these sort of things, because we can stand confidently and say, so congratulations to her. I'm just so proud. It always makes me sad when I think about the way our sports people are treated in terms of how they're supported in their journeys, and I hope that at some point we're going to be able to support our athletes and our sportsmen and women the way they're supported in countries like America, for example, where if you're a sports person, you're like a demigod. It's high about time that we started supporting these athletes, in the way they need to be. So yeah, so
Nigerian Sport Commission, are you listening to Fiona? Are you hearing what she's saying?
Mhm.
It's high time we get our
Let me even add something.
Go ahead.
Let me add something. She set the African record, but not the world record. Yeah, because she came second. Yeah. So I congratulate her. She did it well. But the reason why I'm saying this is I want to say that the person who came first is US's runner, American runner, who is Tia Jones.
Okay.
Also, but I mean, if you look at her, you see that she's black, and let's say she can trace her roots to Africa. The reason why I'm saying is that all the same, a lot of these talents are coming from Africa, whether it's their previous generation, ancestors, but they're all coming from Africa. They have African blood, and that means that there's more where Tobi Amusan came from. And the fact that America can find Tia Jones and we cannot find so many of Tobi Amusans and bring them up and support them is actually a failure on our part. Imagine if we are able to find, let me say, imagine if we're able to find a white runner, who is white skinned, or somebody who is maybe even an albino, who is coming out in tops. It will show that we are so advanced in our scouting abilities that we even left the black and found, maybe white or albino who is representing us. It will show that we really have a development system and our scouting ability is top notch. America just found this one and they are breaking records.
Listen,
guys, she's fantastic.
When we gather like this, we should go on, but the network is beeping now. They're telling us it's time. Our viewers were real on with us. Good number too. Godwin, maybe the update you have for us will come on our foreign affairs, global affairs news. Please keep those updates. We need them. We need you to check on those things. Keep our audience updated. And Fiona, thank you for coming through. This is it, viewers. Between the Lines, Monday, the 5th of February, the love month. Guys, are you planning Valentine? Who's doing Valentine? Who's doing those things?
Let me tell you one funny thing. In Russia, the head of the Orthodox Church has proposed the banning of Valentine. And suppose that does nothing to support the institution of marriage, and it sanctions promiscuity, and we should promote marriage and the institution of marriage. I think he has some point, but come on, it's left to be seen if it's extreme or not. But in Russia,
Fiana's face went like this when I said, this thing now. All right, viewers, thank you so much, guys. We'll be back on Wednesday. Thank you, Fiona. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Godwin. Thank you.
Thank you.